Power to the people, I'm back for a reason. If you clicked on this video, I meet you with greetings. Another episode of On My Back Podcast. It's me, your host, Sebastian West. Follow me on Instagram at _Sebastian West, where you check out my artwork and all of its splendor. If you don't like what I'm kicking, like what I'm spitting, just know when you tune to this, the cloth is different. I went to go check out the film Northman. Yeah. Moving right along. Being as though I had a rough time watching films as of late, I went back to my personal favorites, one of my personal classics films. It is none other than the film Heat. If you've been living under a rock, if you don't know one of the most famous quotes in movie history, then I don't know where I don't know what you've been doing with your life. Now, as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate this film even more. Came out in 1995. I think I first seen this film, I was in college the first time I seen this film. And from that point on, I think I watched this film probably annually, at least once a year. You know, I know people don't collect DVDs. I'm a dinosaur, so yes, I still collect DVDs. And I know sooner or later there will become the hipsters will enjoy DVDs just like they enjoy vinyl nowadays. So yes, Heat, man, starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore, Ashley Judd, I think a young Natalie Portman. Listen, the guy from what is Allstate? I think that's him. He's in this film. Allstate guy. He's in this film as well. Michael Mann, salute to him. The cinematography is second to none. Now, if you don't know about Heat, it kind of spawned all these heist films. You know, with the likes of The Town and Takers and things of that nature. They all took from Heat. It set the bar. Let's get right into Heat. Brief synopsis. A cop who is gung-ho, pause, and he is ready to stop this wave of heists that's been going on in LA. Played by Al Pacino. He's just known for solving the crime, and he has a knack for taking down bad guys. Now, Robert De Niro, who has his crew, who's notorious for taking down scores. They pop up every now and then, and it stars John Voight too. John Voight's in this film, by the way. So yes, they going for the last hurrah. Like, this is it. This is the big heist, in LA. Big bank, man, they going for, this is it. They're tired of taking down, small scores. This is the last score they plan to do and sail off into the sunset. Al Pacino's not having it. He plans to shut them down. Beautifully shot. The banter back and forth between Al Pacino. You got that famous restaurant, coffee shop scene. You got, I think the theme, the Moby. I think Moby was the artist that had the chase. When they follow Robert De Niro in the Cadillac and the cops is behind him, and he tells him, "Yo, let's go have some coffee." I think Moby is the artist that's background playing. Slight tangent, but yes. So he's sick of them. He's on their tails. This Heat. And speaking of Heat, you get the quote. A famous quote, that is. The guy told me one time, never get attached to anything you're not willing to walk away from in 30 seconds flat. You feel the heat around the corner. Famous quote. Everybody knows the quote, man. That's the quote. I like the quote. And when I was younger, I don't know, it kind of was a reflection of me in a sense, regarding the attachment things. But that's another story. Anywho, Heat, is the heist movie. It's the upper echelon for me. I think it makes top 10 for me. And for those that haven't watched Heat straight through, I don't know what your problem is. No way you cannot enjoy bad banter, good dialogue, rich dialogue, character development. There's no way you can dislike Heat and a little bit of action. There's no way you can dislike Heat. So yes, Heat is one of those films for me. It is definitely one of those films for me. I don't know about to those, but for me, Heat checks off the boxes. It just does. And the whole, the cat and mouse, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. That's one of the best cat and mouse films I've seen as of late. Well, not as of late, just period. This came out in 1995. It was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. If you don't know, man, he ends up actually killing Robert De Niro. Val Kilmer ends up getting away. Ashley Judd ends up they try to flip Ashley Judd, to go against Val Kilmer. She doesn't. It's some body language going on, and he knew what that meant. Didn't catch him. It was an overall good film. Tom Sizemore, you get the Al Pacino, the famous shootout scene, with the assault rifles and semi-automatics and how they were moving tactical. You get that. Heat is one of those films for me. It really is. It's one of those. I watch it frequently throughout the year. I talk about it frequently throughout the year. So why wouldn't I speak about it in front of the camera? So yes, if you haven't checked out Heat, go check out Heat. Do yourself a favor. Go check out Heat. Now, I'll probably will review another Danish film. Yes, I know. Yes, it's listen, salute to all the Danish people. Salute to y'all. I'm going to review The Hunt, starring Mads Mikkelsen. I'm going to review The Hunt. I'm going to talk about The Hunt. Shed some light on that film. Because the Danish, they watch my reviews. So yes, I'm going to keep blooding my YouTube channel with Danish films. I just say, that's what I'm going to do. Anywho, if I were to rate Heat, I will give Heat 9 out of 10. Checks off all the boxes for me. So yes, Heat is 9 out of 10. It's one of those movies for me. Anywho, remember, big shot's not but a little shot that kept shooting. Slow run is better than no run. If you don't like my reviews, cut me some slack, and if that ain't good enough, pardon my back. In the meantime, hold it down. Oh, yes, subscribe to my Instagram, man. Appreciate everyone, whether it's one person watching or 100 watching. I appreciate you all. Tune in for next week's episode of Pardon My Back Podcast. In the meantime, hold it down. Salute.